Precious wondered how a hat could save your life. "Please, tell me about that," she said. She loved her father's stories, especially when he told them at bedtime. There is something very exciting about a bedtime story, and it is even better if the story is told after the lights have been turned out. The words sound different, I think, as if they are being whispered just for you and for nobody else. The words are all about you, like a warm blanket. So, Obed told her about the hat that evening, when it was already dark outside and the African sky was filling with stars. "Quite a few years ago," he began, "before you were even born, I worked for a while on a farm. It was a very dry place, as there was not much rain in that part of the country. But each year the rains came, and the land would turn green as the plants returned to life. That could happen so quickly, sometimes overnight. My job was to see that the cattle were getting water to drink. We had boreholes to pump the water up from deep wells. Then the cattle could slake their thirst from drinking troughs. I had to go and check that everything was working properly and fix it if it was not. Now, it was rather remote and empty down there, and although there were no lions, there were other wild animals and birds. And this is all about one of those birds, a very dangerous bird." Precious interrupted him. "Birds can't be dangerous," she said, laughing at the thought. "Birds are far too small." Obed shook his head. "That's where you are wrong, my darling. There are some birds that are very big." "An eagle?" asked Precious. "Bigger than that, much bigger." She thought and was still thinking when Obed said, "An ostrich." "An ostrich," her father went on, "is much bigger than a man, and yes, it can be very dangerous. You have to be very careful if you get too close to an ostrich, because they can kick. They have these very strong legs, you see. And at the end of one of them, there is a claw. You can be very badly hurt by an ostrich kick. Very, very badly hurt." Precious shivered. Sometimes her father's stories were a little bit frightening, even if they usually ended well. "Now," Obed continued, "I was walking through the bush one day, looking for some stray cattle, and suddenly I heard a noise. It was a very strange noise, and I stopped in my tracks, wondering what it was. Then I saw it, not far away from me, looking at me with those big, angry eyes that they have, was an ostrich. And I knew right away that I had disturbed this creature and that it was about to attack me. The reason why it was so angry was that I had come too close to its nest. These birds make large nests on the ground in which they lay massive eggs. Think of a hen's egg, then think of an egg 20 times bigger than that. That's an ostrich egg. Suddenly, I remembered something I had been told, and it was just as well it came back to me. Looking down on the ground, I saw a long stick that had fallen from a nearby tree. I picked this up and put my hat on the end of this stick. Then I held it up high in the air, like this. Ostriches may be strong, but they are not very bright. I had remembered being told that if you put your hat on a stick and then held it up high, an ostrich would think that the hat was your head. They would also think that you were much taller than they were, and so they would leave you well alone. And do you know It worked. The ostrich saw my head and thought I must be a very tall and strong creature, more than a match for her. So she backed off, and I was able to continue on my way unkicked. Precious breathed a sigh of relief. She did not want her father to be kicked by an ostrich. Who does? "I'm glad it worked out well for you," she said, as she drifted off to sleep. "Thank you," said her father. "And now you go off to sleep, Precious, as you must be ready for school tomorrow morning." Precious closed her eyes and thought of school. She had heard that there was a new family coming to the school the next day, a boy and a girl, and she wondered what they would be like. New people are always interesting, and she thought that perhaps they might be her